Week 5 of the UFL is officially here, and we are at the halfway point of the season. It kicks off in just over 48 hours from now, and this is your video that you have the ability to share, hype up, watch, subscribe, like, whatever the case may be, because this is your opportunity to make sure your friends, your family, and people you know that may not know much about the league, this is your opportunity to share the league, to show them when and how to watch the UFL Week 5, as we've got some key matchups that have some playoff implications potentially to them as we get to Week 5 of the UFL. It all kicks off this Friday night. The Memphis Showboats, who are 0-4, at the Birmingham Stallions, who are 3-1. Now, of course, Birmingham struggled through their first 4 weeks. They have 1 loss, 3 wins that were very close games, especially to teams that have a losing record. Houston could have potentially won that game last week. Now we have the Memphis Showboats, essentially, who could potentially get their first win in Birmingham and have an upset, again, in just less than or just over 48 hours from now in Birmingham, Alabama at Protective Stadium, Friday, April 25th, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Fox under the great lights of Protective Stadium. If you are in the Birmingham area or around it, make sure you hit up this game and attend it. It could be a really good game. I know when you look on paper, an 0-4 team versus a 3-1, this could be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be. And I think there's a lot of issues and concerns going on with quarterbacks, with injuries and things like that that have led us to this point of the season. We'll get more into the full preview, most likely tomorrow or Friday. I'm trying to wait for some depth charts to come out because I'm looking at some of those injury reports as well, to kind of dive into that situation essentially. But without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to another great matchup that is on Saturday. And this game here, I think, is going to be an absolute amazing game. Both teams have dealt with quarterback injuries. The Michigan Panthers, who are 3-1, against the St. Louis Battlehawks, who are 2-2. This game from St. Louis, Missouri, the Dome at America Center. Make sure you pack the Dome if you are in that area. Otherwise, this game will be on television Saturday, April 26, 2025, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. All games minus the Friday night game will be on ESPN this week, which is absolutely amazing. It shows some consistency, and we can really get a deep dive into those ESPN numbers, especially having 2 back-to-back nights again in prime time for these games. And this matchup here, being in prime time from St. Louis, is going to just be chef's kiss, in my opinion. Again, both teams have dealt with quarterback injuries. We know that the St. Louis Battlehawks essentially have lost Manny Wilkins potentially for the season, but he has been placed on the IR, which is at least 5 weeks at this point. And they have went out and signed former Houston Roughnecks quarterback Brandon Silvers. Now, of course, I fully expect that Max Duggan will get to start, but we'll talk about that in the preview. I just want to key point this game out because I think this is going to be one of the top matchups of the weekend to pay attention to. But I'm not done yet, because game number 3 on Sunday, to start out Sunday, the DC Defenders, who are 3-1, against the Arlington Renegades, who are 3-1 as well. This is another key match, rematch of the XFL championship game from a couple years back. And right now, these two teams are at the top of the division. This is going to be for the number 1 spot. Like I said, these games could have playoff implications to them. And it all starts in Arlington, Texas, Choctaw Stadium, Sunday, April 27th, 2025, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. This is a game you don't want to miss. Now, of course, both offenses of these teams have been struggling. The defenses, on the other part, are looking good. Of course, you have Jordan Ta'amu, who is currently leading the league in passing yards, with Luis Perez right behind him. So, again, this is going to be potentially a preview of the UFL conference championship game, or the XFL conference championship game. And who knows, if St. Louis doesn't start improving their game, obviously with the quarterback injury, this could easily be the XFL conference championship game heading to the UFL championship in June. So keep an eye on this game. I think this is going to be an absolute amazing game. Hopefully we see a little bit more work from both offenses, but again, we'll go over the previews of these games once we have full depth charts and injury reports and stuff like that. And then week 5 concludes that evening, or that afternoon essentially, with the 1-3 Houston Roughnecks facing the 1-3 San Antonio Brahmas in the Alamo Dome. The Brahmas finally return home for the first time this season. And again, this game, San Antonio, Texas, Alamo Dome, Sunday, April 27th, 2025, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. So these are 2 back-to-back games we will be getting on Sunday. And quite frankly, despite the fact their records, these 2 teams are fighting for the chance to save their season. All teams still have a chance. I think Memphis is kind of teetering on that potential of being eliminated already, but these 2 teams still have an opportunity in both of their divisions, especially when it comes to the Houston Roughnecks in the USFL division, which is kind of up for toss for that second place. Same thing goes with the San Antonio Brahmas. All it has to do is, with Party taking over as head coach, all it has to do is just a change in course, and they win out, and they could easily get that second place or even first place depending on the remainder of the year. So I would keep an eye even on this game, and despite the fact the records, I think this is going to be another absolute amazing game that we could potentially see really good, a battle of 2 teams that are really looking to save their season. And quite frankly, we know with the Houston Roughnecks, most likely Jalen McClendon is starting. And then we have Kellen Mond still at the helm of the San Antonio Brahmas. So it is going to be an absolute amazing matchup here, and make sure we pack the Alamo Dome because, quite frankly, let's support San Antonio. They're only getting 4 home games this season. That's your key to get out there and enjoy the Alamo Dome and the Brahmas at home. If you can't, make sure to tune into the game on Sunday on ESPN. But that concludes the how and where you can watch this game. Like I said in the beginning, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, and make sure you share this video with anybody that you want to tune into the UFL this weekend or head to the games, because this is their information video of how that can be done. We'll see you back here either tomorrow or Friday for the full matchup previews and going over everything for each game. Thank you again, and see you on the flip side.